I mean, I feel like we can just dive into this topic for a while. Like,
oh my God.
okay, because the idea of like after the honeymoon phase, after the fun cutesy shit, like,
That's when you go to therapy.
shit, even that, like couples therapy. Have you guys ever done that?
You did it.
I've done it.
Yeah, no, not
I've
yet.
done it. It was well, couples therapy was helpful. Well, because it was court mandated.
Was it helpful?
What?
Was it helpful?
Couples therapy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it works for those who are looking for an answer about themselves or trying to look to make it work. Because I mean, I'm pretty sure you've seen it on TV. Like, people go to couples counseling, and one partner or the other is like, I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk about my feelings. but with that, I was hungry to try to make things work, because I still had this, like, for me, I had this vision of trying to keep, like, I guess a traditional family look, like mom and dad together and trying to work it out to stay together for our kid. And part of that also was like, it was kind of court mandated. Long story. I won't get into it, but
You already talked about it.
yeah. And yeah, it helped because for me at least, because we figured out, like, I learned tools in how to better communicate and like in like how to be empathetic and how, like, where I fall short. One of the things I learned most is like, I have a tendency to try to fix things. I think a lot of guys are like that. We like, oh, your significant other is trying to talk to you. And I was like, well, what about this? What about this? What about this? You try to offer a solution. No. And then my couples counselor was like, I get it, Emeroy. If you can fix things in your own job, you can fix it in your work, but this isn't something she's looking for you to fix. Sometimes she just wants to hear you say, that sucks. She doesn't want you to hear, she doesn't want you to think, and I'm like, fuck, man.
But I don't like to live with the problem. I want to solve the problem.
Yeah, but because
you can solve that problem by walking out.
Because
that's really hard to understand.
Because like, because
how do you want the problem not to be fixed, but to be just said about, like, fuck?
Ooh, learning moment right here.
Because it'll be fixed on their own. They just want to
share
talk
some
about the problem.
wisdom.
I don't need your help.
Yeah, because all they
I need my therapist's help.
Yeah, like your partner needs is someone to listen to them, like to be like, oh shit, that sucks, because they probably know within themselves that what to do already. But the thing is sometimes you just need to let that energy out and redirect it. And that's a very important thing when she tells you, like, oh, like such and such is being a piece of shit at work. I'm like, fuck, I'm sorry, sucks. That sucks.
They're a piece of shit too.
Yeah. No, like, because for me, I have a tendency to be like, play devil's advocate sometimes. Like sometimes I used to, like, just like, I don't know if I still do it now, but like I sometimes play devil's advocate. I was like, well, what about the other person's perspective? What if maybe they didn't meant to do this? Because I try to be all like fucking democratic and shit. But I try to be like, fair. And then they would think, oh, so you're taking their side. I'm like, no, I'm just trying to see all perspectives. They don't give a shit about perspectives. They just want to be heard.
I don't give a shit about respecting someone else's perspective when they fucking disrespected me.
The only thing that matters, like, if your partner's mad, you got their back. Like, fuck them. I fuck them.
Yeah.
It's irrational. It does not make sense. Mm-hmm. But it's part of
it doesn't matter. You're the number one fan. You're there for her, and that's it.
Yeah, you're their support, not their.
It goes the other way,
and vice versa.
It goes the other way. Whenever it's like ranting about a client, even though they're not always like that, they're like, yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Of course.
Fuck that guy.
All right.
We don't need him. Actually, we do, but you know what I mean.
I was like, well,
that's a really good lesson, I think.
Yeah, because
I'll try to use.
It's corny, but she gave us worksheets, and for me, it worked because I was practicing. Because it's hard to practice tools from therapy when you're just talking about it. and it's even harder to put it to practice when you're in the moment. Like when you're triggered, you're like, oh, fuck this motherfucker. I'm gonna
when you're in your feelings, you can't fix shit.
Yeah. So like when she gave us worksheets of like seeing, I liked the worksheets. I don't know. It felt like school. So like, and I was trying to get a grade, you know, for this to somehow improve the relationship. But this, like some of my favorite things like sound formulaic, but it helps because it's a structure. And I that's how I kind of work apparently, because apparently all my dates prior had structures as well. So, but it gives me a guide. Like one of my favorite things is I can't imagine like when they're going through a really rough day, like, I don't know. They shot a nail gun to their foot. I don't know, but, and then don't.
Good reason to be sad about.
I shot my fucking foot with a nail gun.
Yeah, a good phrase I remember. It was like, I can only imagine what you're feeling right now, but then you acknowledge them. But I know that you're still this. But know that I still love you. But no, I still this. Like say, but no, like. For example, like I'm trying to come up with an example that's anecdotal example with Max. Maybe it's like sometimes she's down. I might be making this up at this point for example's sake, but it's like I can only imagine how frustrated you feel right now with everything that's happening. But know that I still think you're an amazing person, and I love you very much. Things like that, and that because one of the things I'm not a fan of saying I understand. Do you really don't? Because you are not them. You are not that person. They are experiencing the world in their own, filters of how they grew up and with their own beliefs. So we cannot fully understand. And saying I understand also sounds patronizing.
Yeah, of course. Also, if you're a guy with like dating a girl, you don't know how the world fucking works for her.
Yeah.
Like, we may live in the same house, have the same work, the same boss, and it will still be different, very different. So yeah, like, making sure like you don't put yourself in her place is super important, because you are not on her place.
Yeah.
Like, you can like support her, but from your place, not hers.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Then you brought up a good point too. Like how like guys kind of, I'm going to say we were privileged in many ways, because with my ex-fiance, she explained why she was always anxious on certain situations, because she was scared about strangers or guys trying to attack her in public. These are things that women are afraid of. Because I feel like I did that because like, why are you afraid? I'm like, of course you're a dude. You don't have to be fucking afraid of that. I was an idiot. So, but that was like super eye opening. Like, they experience the world in such a different way. Everyone experiences the world differently. But again, everyone gets a different version of it depending on your genetics, so to speak.
And also like whenever you're trying to help, you have to make sure you are not making someone else's problem personal, because if you take it very personal, like you won't think like objectively, and you will behave like an idiot, and you will get emotional, and instead of helping, you will make like a snowball of problems, because now she or he has its problem, like her or his problem more like added to your way of seeing it, plus your problem, plus whatever the fuck you're going through. So yeah, that doesn't help.
Yeah, because then it's like it just adds to it. So
added stress.
Yeah, it adds stress, and then they're like, I don't want to tell you because now you get mad, and but it was never your problem to begin with. It was just yours to just listen, not take on.
Totally, yeah. And a lot of times, like the most helpful thing you can do is to just be there and listen and stay shut the fuck up. Staying silent and like nodding with your head and saying, yeah, Yeah, that sucks.
It's called it's called a holding the space. Like you are like
your agenda. Now, shelving your agenda, I heard this from Dr. John Gottman. He's one of the all-stars of couples therapy, him and his wife, Julie. Shelving your agenda means that when you're dealing with somebody who's upset or sad or frustrated or scared, you take your desire, if they're upset with you, your desire to get defensive or to explain your perspective or to correct or to fix. You take all of those things that you just kind of naturally want to do and you put them on the shelf.
Okay.
They're going to come off later.
Okay.
But right now, the person in front of me and their needs are the most pressing, important thing.
Got it.
So that you feel heard, understood, validated, and that I'm showing accountability if that's necessary.
All of those things sound good.
Shelving your agenda. Oh my God, cinema therapy. Thank you so much.
Shelving your agenda. That's right. So look that up on cinema therapy. Yeah. Like because you might have your own like thing that you want to do, but you put that aside and then, like prioritize what your partner is going through first. Like, that's like the real like relationship shit, dude. Like aside from like the cutesy, really like after like a year, after maybe 6 months to 2-3 years, I don't know how long the honeymoon phase lasts, but shit. And then therapy. I mean, couples therapy was useful. The hard part is like you had like when, especially on days we had disagreements. Man, I can be pretty stubborn, and I was like stubborn as fuck those days.
Yeah,
so,
same.
Like
Alex, write this down. This one is the useful part.
Very important.
This is the useful shit. Like
maybe have Alex edit this so he can watch it back and
Alex, you're gonna edit this. So, but like for me, my therapist made me aware of my body language when I'm upset with my partners. I don't look at them. I use distancing body language, like because it's easier for me to be like this and throw jabs at you, right? Because if I have to look at you, that means I have to look at the damage I'm doing.
Yeah, that's super true.
So then my therapist, like, and I remember looking like this. I was, and my partner, like at the time was there, and it was like, well, like Emeroy, like uncross your arms, like take a look at her, like why don't take her as she is, like look at how she's hurting right now. It's easy, like, and it's like I know you want to say all these things, but like really look at. And then I was like, then I fucking started crying. Of
course.
Yeah. Because one of the things, because I've been to multitudes of like different types of therapy. I've been to anger management. I've been to individual therapy. And one of the things I learned from anger management is anger is often a secondary emotion, which is like, if you're angry about something, it's probably down the second layer is anger. Below it's probably hurt, sad, afraid,
fear.
Yeah. So, and then, once I let go of that, the anger set aside and the true emotion of hurt or whatever else just flooded out. And then just the anger was there to try to protect me, which is like anger has been my defense mechanism since 4th grade.
Same.
So,
yeah.
Why exactly 4th grade?
Why exactly? Because that's when I remember when I first blew up with my temper. There was a very high, like, yeah, that's right. Through my temper tantrum.
Temper tantrum.
Like
he started dancing. Yeah, like
it was like, I'm gonna kill you. No, but because I had a very violent temper growing up. Like I remember lifting this pole and chasing kids down with it, like a construction pole. And I started chasing.
Yeah.
Listen, when somebody pisses you off and they run away and you want to like fucking chase them, like you have like zero limitations.